Imagine you're a scientist in the age of Galileo. You look through a telescope and discover something unthinkable. The moon has mountains, and for that, you risk death. Now fast forward to 2025. You're a bioengineer who just created a human embryo using synthetic biology and AI. And for that, you receive a multi-million-dollar grant. We've gone from fearing the stars to sending robots beyond Pluto, from heresy to heroism, from trial by fire to test tubes and quantum codes. But here's the burning question. Is the 21st century truly the greatest scientific era in human history? Or do we owe more to the fearless minds of Newton, Pasteur, or Curie? Today, we'll take you on a journey through time, from the dangerous birth of science to the unimaginable powers we wield today, to search for the truth. Back then, science wasn't a job, it was a gamble with your life. In ancient Greece, what we now call science was known as philosophia, the love of wisdom. Archimedes, Pythagoras, and Aristotle didn't have data, labs, or simulations. They had parchment, curiosity, and guts. They believed Earth was at the center of the universe, not out of ignorance, but because it made sense based on what they could observe. But as knowledge grew, so did the danger. In the Middle Ages, to question the heavens was to challenge God. Giordano Bruno suggested that stars were distant suns with their own planets. He was burned alive. Then quietly a revolution began. Galileo dared to say Earth moves. Kepler discovered planetary orbits weren't perfect circles, but ellipses. And Newton, with a single falling apple, wrote the laws that govern the universe. Let's pause here for a what if. If Newton had access to AI, would he have discovered a unified theory of everything? Or would he be drowned in distractions, endlessly scrolling? This era didn't just give us theories, it gave us a method. Test everything, question everything. The 18th and 19th centuries, science stopped whispering, it roared. Pasteur discovered that invisible germs caused disease, birthing hygiene, vaccines, and saving millions. Faraday generated electricity with magnets, powering the world. Maxwell unified light, electricity, and magnetism, laying the groundwork for radio, smartphones, and the internet. But science didn't stay in labs. It invaded daily life. Steam engines roared across nations. Factories multiplied. Humans, once bound to the land, could now fly in balloons. In 1800, life expectancy was 35. By 1900, over 60. That's not a statistic. That's doubling your time on Earth. Here's a fun fact. Your phone today has more computing power than NASA had when it sent astronauts to the moon. But it wasn't all rosy. Pollution, labor exploitation, and colonialism rode the coattails of science too. Because science is a tool, it can build or burn. Now we enter a century where science became divine. Einstein rewrote time and space. Bohr and Heisenberg opened the strange world of quantum mechanics, where particles exist and don't exist at the same time. Watson and Crick cracked the DNA code, life's instruction manual. What if Einstein had a supercomputer? Would we already have teleportation, or would we have vaporized ourselves? Because this was also the century where science split the atom and humanity's soul. The atomic bomb ended World War II and began a new one. Humans walked on the moon, a dream turned real. Computers were born and started learning faster than us. Governments poured billions into research. CERN built machines to smash particles together. NASA reached the stars, and every discovery echoed around the world instantly. Science was no longer local, it was planetary. Welcome to now, where science feels less like discovery and more like magic. We can now edit your genes like a Word document, grow meat in labs, map every tree on Earth from space, CRISPR, quantum computing, brain-computer interfaces, artificial organs, virtual worlds, and yes, AI that learns from data in seconds and beats humans at their own games. One more, what if? What happens when AI starts designing better versions of itself every day? What happens when science accelerates faster than we can understand it? A child born in 2025 might live to 2012-25, and see more change than the last 1,000 years combined. But not all progress is visible. We are flooded with tools, but also flooded with distractions. We have AI that can detect cancer, and we use it to make dancing cat videos. The 21st century is a crossroads. We've built the tools of gods, but will we use them with wisdom? So, who wins? If we count by speed, the 21st century wins. By impact, the 20th century stands tall. By bravery, the earliest scientists took the most terrifying leaps. But maybe we're asking the wrong question. Instead of, which era was the greatest, we should ask, are we worthy of the era we're living in? Because science isn't automatic. It doesn't emerge from silicon chips or super labs. It starts with questions, with wonder, with the courage to challenge what everyone else accepts. If we use AI to create memes, manipulate truth, and escape reality, we're not in the greatest scientific age. We're in its parody. But if we use these tools to cure diseases, fix our planet, explore the cosmos, then maybe, just maybe, this is the greatest scientific era the universe has ever seen.